Hi there, welcome to my channel. I'm Holly, and this channel is all about my exploration of the world of graphic novels, sci-fi, and fantasy. So I have just started reading Blackest Night by Jeff Johns, and I'm telling you, this is crazy town. This is unlike any graphic novel I've read before. You know, all 7 of the ones that I've read. But this is an epic story on many levels, I'm sure. But what I'm talking about is this has an introduction, 2 prologues, 8 parts. I have no idea how many videos I'm going to do on this. I figure we'll just find out together once I come to the end of the story. Alright, so what I'm going to do in this video is just give a brief synopsis of the introduction, and then I'm going to focus on prologue number 1, which was absolutely awesome, and I'm so looking forward to sharing it with you. Alright, let's go ahead and dive into this. Now the introduction, it's actually titled The Story So Far, and I'm not going to get into all of it because I've actually already done kind of a story so far with my video Green Lantern Secret Origin. I'll link that for you guys. I'll just give a brief summary here. So we got the Blackest Night prophecy foretold by some alien prisoners, and we have the Green Lantern Sur, who totally buys into this prophecy. He is a true believer, even though the Guardians of the Universe have told him and everyone else that these are just lies and rumors made up by these prisoners to instill fear in all of the Green Lanterns. And just don't worry about it. Just forget about it. Well, Sur cannot forget about it. And so he leaves his sector, which is a huge no-no, and he travels to this prisoner planet to interrogate all of these prisoners. Specifically, he wants to know the exact location where this whole Blackest Night thing is going to get started. Well, the prisoners give him nothing. They're not going to give up a single detail. And so then Sur makes a stupid decision. He takes one of the prisoners, Atrocitus, which I absolutely love that name, but he takes Atrocitus and puts him on his spaceship and heads toward Earth. Well, of course, a huge physical altercation ensues, and unfortunately, Sur is the loser. The spaceship crash lands on Earth near Coast City, and as the life force is leaving Sur's body, Hal Jordan is tapped to replace him, and he is able to tell Hal about the Blackest Night prophecy before he passes on. So we now have Atrocitus, who has escaped the spaceship and is roaming the Earth in search of one William Hand, because he is the guy who is going to help start this entire Blackest Night. Alright, guys, I've actually got you caught up here. Now on to Prologue 1. This is titled Tale of the Black Lantern. We are getting William Hand's backstory, which, if you've seen any of my videos, you know I love a good backstory, and this one is incredible. Now, who is William Hand, and what makes him so special? Who is he to be able to kick off and fulfill this part of the prophecy? Well, there is a deep darkness brewing inside William Hand, pretty much since birth. As a child, he had a very unsettling fascination with deceased bodies. Now, you can understand a little natural curiosity, seeing as how his parents actually run a mortuary from their basement, but this is beyond. This is an obsession. And also, as a kid, he takes up the hobby of taxidermy, and he provides all of the animals he needs for this little pastime. Any animal he can get his hands on, and his family puts up with this. They know that he's quirky, he's unique, and they just love and accept him and just kind of consider him the black sheep of the family. But then, he turns his attention to the family pet, their beloved dog Marbles. And so, yeah, eventually marbles becomes a part of his taxidermy collection. And that's when he finally gets sent to a slew of psychologists. But William Hand cannot be helped. He is beyond that. He is a lost cause. So a few years later, he follows in his father's footsteps and joins the family business. And it's when he's performing a funeral service that Atrocitus finds him. And he rudely crashes this funeral service and announces to William, "You have a date with destiny. You have the perfect insides to give birth to the Blackest Night." Well, that freaks out William. He is terrified and he starts running. He is now running through the adjoining cemetery where Hal Jordan and Sinestro happen to be, because they have finally located Atrocitus, and they intercept him and arrest him. Hal asks William if he's okay, but he doesn't respond. He has heard a voice, and you find out that it's the voice of death, telling him to run, not from Atrocitus, but from Hal and Sinestro. So William complies, but here's the thing. During the skirmish between Atrocitus and the two Green Lanterns, he's dropped something on the ground, and William has discovered it. He's picked it up, and it is a cosmic divining rod, and it absorbs all power, including the light from the Green Lantern's rings, which is somewhat fortunate for him, not so much for humanity, but pretty good for him, because now all he can see is this green light, no matter what he does, even when he closes his eyes. So his immediate goal is just to get rid of the light. But before he does that, he's got to do something very special. And before I tell you what it is, if you enjoy this content, I ask that you subscribe, hit the like button, share, and stick around for the rest of the video. The special thing he has to do is he's got to make himself an outfit, because every superhero and villain has to have a fabulous costume, and I love the material that he chose for his. It's a body bag. Of course it is. Absolutely perfect. And also, to go along with his new outfit, he needs a new name. So he comes up with the Black Hand. Now, for years, he fights Hal Jordan and other Green Lanterns, and he always loses. Until one day, the story tells us, the light finally goes out, but not the spark. And he knows it's out there somewhere, and he is desperate to find it and extinguish it. And yes, eventually he does find it. And when he tries to put it out, he actually loses his hand in the process. Well, guys, now I've got to talk about some aliens. This is a little bit of an aside to the story, but it's very important. So apparently these aliens have been hunting down William Hand, and the voice of death has always been telling him to run, run. This voice has been trying to protect him. But eventually the aliens do catch up with him and capture him for a time. And they are looking for a power that they believe is deep inside him. And so they probe him. Yes, they thoroughly probe him. And they find nothing. But they do him a solid for all of his troubles. They resurrect his hand and reattach it. And then, once it's reattached, he could hear, touch, and see death all around him. And we are seeing what he's seeing, image after image of superheroes who have passed on in very violent and grotesque ways. It is a shocking roll call of dozens of them, including Clark Kent, Bruce Wayne, Hal Jordan, Barry Allen, Wesley Dodds, Kilowog, and on and on. And William still hears this voice of death, and at this point, he is actually conversing with death. He's saying, yes, yes, I can see all of them. And I see that some of them have escaped death and have been resurrected. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. This is the crazy. I gotta stop here because this is quite the plot twist. Are we talking about undead superheroes? Zombie superheroes? Well, I can't imagine that they're being resurrected for the good of humanity. That revelation and this next part is just straight out of a horror movie. Now, it's one that I would enjoy, but it is so savage and so vile, and it is completely unforgivable. William is instructed to return home and obliterate his entire family, which he does. His mother, his father, and his two brothers. And I won't get into all of the artwork here, but it is very graphic. There is a lot of attention given to detail, leaving nothing to the imagination. Finally, William is instructed to take care of himself, which he complies with in a most brutal fashion with the cosmic divining rod. Ugh. So he is lying there on the floor, and we see this guardian hovering above him. I knew it. I knew it from reading Secret Origin. I knew there was a rogue guardian, and now he's right there in my face. And obviously he's in cahoots with death and is willing to play his part in bringing about this horrible prophecy. Then this guardian vomits up this black ring. Death then resurrects William Hand, and he's told that he's going to be perfect, the perfect representative for the new Black Lantern Corps. And you know what? William's just born for this apparently, because he is not surprised or disoriented or even horrified that he's just been brought back from death. No, he just takes that black ring, slips it on his finger, and proclaims that he will extinguish the light. And that tells us what his purpose is, his part of this unholy plan. And that actually ends prologue number 1. All right, wrapping up. Guys, this just seems to be on a completely different level from what I've read so far. And I'm wondering, is this going to keep happening? Every time I think I have a new number 1 favorite, it gets replaced by practically the next thing that I read. Now, I don't know if Blackest Night's going to replace Kingdom Come as my new number 1, but it is certainly going to rival it. All right, so I plan on getting into the meat of the story next time, and I look forward to sharing it with you. I'm out of here, but please stay tuned. I'll be right back.